Good afternoon, folks. This is Fred Campos, owner of DFW Website Designers. It is a beautiful Saturday, January the 30th. This is episode number 95 of your 3 business tips at 3 o'clock and in around 3 minutes. So as we get close to the end of January, you're going to start receiving your 1099s or your W-2 forms if you have an external job. But for our small business people, we're going to be pushing out our 1099s. All that to say is, I think I'm going to take the next 3 episodes and we're going to talk about tips for taxes. I know. But as we get to the end of January, we need to start thinking about taxes, about filing our taxes, doing our taxes, getting our receipts together and everything else. Now, you'll remember back in episode number 26, I was talking about tools, about having an accountant, having separate bank accounts, about using things like Evernote to keep track of your receipts. But what I want to talk about today is I want to talk about different methods of areas that you should be tracking to help you save or get more deductions on your taxes. So today we're going to talk about mileage, we're going to talk about business meals, and we're going to talk about office supplies. Business tip number 1, you should be tracking your miles. For those of us that work from home or work from an office, we can track the miles of visiting a client from the time you leave your home or office to where you get to the client, and then tracking it back to your home or office. For those of us that see customers, and I know we don't see a lot of them with COVID, but prior to that, I used to, on average, visit about 55 customers a month, mainly visiting them at Starbucks. Having a home office, I could write the miles from my house to there and back. So mileage is really good. There's a certain number based on, that you're going to get to deduct. I use the formula where it's just purely miles. I don't keep track of all the expenses I put in my car because the deduction is really good. Mileage is a huge deduction that I can take on my taxes. Business tip number 2, business meals. Now, despite popular belief, every meal out that you eat is not a business meal. But if you were sitting down face to face with a client, you can deduct about 50% of that. But you need to do a couple things. On the receipt, you flip it over, you put the date, you put who the client is, what the purpose of the meeting is, and the total dollar amount. Talk to your accountant, but on average, you can deduct about 50% of business meals. By the way, you can deduct meals that you bring in that you cater for maybe your employees or whatnots, but that's above and beyond this 333. Business tip number 3, office supplies. Folders, stamps, staples, copy paper, buying a printer, all the things that you do that are office related or tax deductible. So consider that. We're going to talk a lot about other tax deductions, but the tips for today, of course, are mileage, business meals, and supplies. Big fan of paying taxes, but we don't want to pay more than we have to. And being a small business owner has a lot of perks when it comes to deductions. So with that, I want you guys to be awesome. Now go back to sleep.